and thank you so much. And this is, let me read the title poem of this new book, Ballistics. And this is based on, some of you probably know this photographer, Harold Edgerton. He was a science photographer, and he combined high-speed photography with strobe lighting, and was able to capture these little moments in the kind of photographic amber stuff that you couldn't see with the naked eye. And he was particularly interested in collisions. There's a famous one of a drop of milk falling into a pan of milk, and it makes this perfect corona. And even though his pursuit was scientific, as a byproduct, he revealed this amazing aesthetics of stuff you couldn't see without the aid of these special cameras. So this is based on one of Harold Edgerton's photographs. Ballistics. When I came across the high-speed photograph of a bullet that had just pierced a book, the pages exploding with the velocity, I forgot all about the marvels of photography and began to wonder which book the photographer had selected for the shot. Many novels sprang to mind, including those of Raymond Chandler, where an extra bullet would hardly be noticed. Non-fiction offered too many choices, a history of Scottish lighthouses, a biography of Joan of Arc, and so forth. Or it could be an anthology of medieval literature, the bullet having just beheaded Sir Gawain and scattered the band of assorted pilgrims. But later, as I was drifting off to sleep, I realized that the executed book was a recent collection of poems written by someone of whom I was not fond, and that the bullet must have passed through his writing with little resistance at 2,800 feet per second, through the poems about his sorry childhood and the ones about the dreary state of the world, and then through the author's photograph, through the beard, the round glasses, and that special poet's hat he loves to wear. Thank you. No one in particular, but you probably know someone like that. Well, let's see. I've been writing a kind of series of, before this book came out, the Ballistics book, the editor called me up and said, you know, we have 10 blank pages, and I don't know how books are made. I was just, why don't you just get rid of them? And, but apparently it's something about folios, or I just don't know about bookmaking, but he said, if you have any new poems, we can fill them up, you know, so it wouldn't look so vacant. So I did have a few new poems, because I've been writing, I guess it wasn't intentionally a series, but I started writing these poems that seemed to have no subject matter whatsoever. You know, they seem to have, I wouldn't say transcended, but just avoided the burden of being about much. And what I would do, I would just write down a title and then sort of wonder about what would go under it. So I'll read a couple of those. One's called Hippos on Holiday. Hippos on Holiday is really not the title of a movie, but if it was, I would be sure to see it. I love their short legs and big heads, the whole hippo look. Hundreds of them would frolic in the mud of a wide, slow-moving river, and I would eat my popcorn in the dark of a neighborhood theater. When they opened their enormous mouths, lined with big stubby teeth, I would drink my enormous Coke. I would be both in my seat and in the water, playing with the hippos, which is the way it is with a truly great movie. Only a mean-spirited reviewer would ask, on holiday from what? Not much there, really, but This is another one along those lines, and it's called Bathtub Families. Bathtub Families is not just a phrase I made up, though it would have given me pleasure to have written those words in a notebook, then looked up at the sky, wondering what they meant. No, I saw Bathtub Families in a pharmacy on the label of a clear plastic package containing 1 cow and 4 calves, a little family of animals meant to float in your tub. I hesitated to buy it because I knew I would then want the entire series of Bathtub Families, which would leave no room in the tub for the turtles, the pigs, the seals, the giraffes, and me. It's enough just to have the words Bathtub Families, which alone makes me even more grateful that I was born in America and English is my mother tongue. I was lucky, too, that I waited for the pharmacist to fill my prescription. Otherwise, I might not have wandered down the aisle with the Bathtub Families. I think what I am really saying is that language is better than reality, so it doesn't have to be bath time for you to enjoy all the Bathtub Families as they float in the air around your head. Well, there's one more of these, and it's called This Little Piggy Went to Market. So this is something I wrote on a piece of paper and thought, well, where do you go from there? This little piggy went to market is the usual thing to say when you begin pulling on the toes of a small child, and I have never had a problem with that. I could easily picture the piggy with his basket and his trotters kicking up the dust on an imaginary road. What always stopped me in my tracks was the middle toe. This little piggy ate roast beef. I mean, I enjoy a roast beef sandwich with lettuce and tomato and a dollop of horseradish, but I cannot see a pig ordering that in a delicatessen. I am probably being too literal-minded here. I am even wondering why it's called horseradish. I should just go along with the beautiful nonsense of the nursery, float downstream on its waters. I don't want to be the one to ruin the children's party by asking unnecessary questions about Puss in Boots, or again, the implications of a pig eating beef. By the way, I am completely down with going wee 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 all the way home, having done that many times and knowing exactly how it feels.